Welcome to another Sunday morning conversation, everybody. Today, my guest is Marisa Hird, and she is of the Naperville Running Company. We're going to have a great conversation today, and you will learn about their annex. It is a new concept that nobody else is doing, and I hope it will catch on other places. It's definitely great. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Hi there.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Another day in the life. It keeps it interesting.
Yes, absolutely. That's a good way to look at a Monday. That's for sure.
Yeah, it'll be interesting nonetheless. But of course, I get to meet new people like you.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for this opportunity. I've been looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah. So, first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself and then how you ended up at this place. Because I saw you have somewhere around 28 employees now. You probably work a lot like my local running store does too.
Yeah. So I personally have worked here a little over 10 years. I am born and raised in Naperville. So I used to shop here as a high schooler. And then I
You're like
graduated.
what we used to call a townie back in college.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Proud to be a Naperville townie, I guess. So I graduated college with my teaching degree, and then I subbed for a little bit and realized I didn't like teaching and started here part-time. And then now I am in management, and leadership. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I still run competitively. Here at the store, I do our marketing. So I'm our marketing director, apparel buyer. I do our team sales. I do HR. It's a small shop, so we do a lot of things.
You're a small shop, but you've got multiple locations.
We do. So we have 4 stores. We opened up our second location. So our store was founded in 2000 by Chris Hartner. He still is our owner now. And we didn't open up our second shop until 2014. So after that, we opened up our third shop in 2017, and then our fourth shop in 2019.
Yeah, it's a big decision to open up that second one because you don't know if it's gonna, flop or not.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think we would have opened it if we didn't feel confident. But one of the biggest reasons that we did open it was to give employees like me and some of my other coworkers a chance to kind of grow into the business and more leadership opportunities.
Well, that and you're basically, more or less we'll call it Chicago. You're in an area that can support that kind of like you can
Yeah.
have multiple running stores.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have there's a lot of competition in the suburbs and in Chicago. We have a Dick Pond Athletics just up the street. Fleet Feet is all over Chicagoland area. There's Peak Running out of Oak Park. So there's lots of really cool shops in the area, which is kind of a good thing, I think. I mean, some people might think of it as competition, but we're all small businesses and we all want to succeed. So
That people they develop a loyalty for the running specialty store.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Once they buy if they like their experience there, they'll just keep coming no matter what to buy their shoes there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of part of what we say too. It's kind of like everything that we sell, you can get online or you can get at a big box store. Just about everything you can find somewhere else. But we pride ourselves kind of on our customer service, and people come back because they want to talk to us and they want to maybe learn something new or share with us about, what they've experienced. That's what keeps us coming back too.
Oh yeah, I remember all the times I've shot the shit at the running store and didn't even buy anything.
We love those conversations just as much as you do. So it does a lot to make that connection with our community.
Sometimes it helps pass a slow day too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you guys have a lot of group run activities?
You know what? Right this moment, not a lot. We just started up our marathon training group that just started 2 weeks ago, kind of training for fall marathons. We kind of cater it towards Chicago Marathon, but if anybody's doing a marathon around that time, you can kind of get ready for that. Pre-COVID, we had fun runs out of every location every week. We haven't fired those quite back up yet. So we do have one out of our Wheaton location on Wednesdays, and then we'll be kind of doing some more events throughout the summer, but nothing, we haven't quite bounced back with that yet.
See, I loved group runs out of my running store because I I probably made like 90% of my friends there, you know.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
all ended up living there. And I actually found my ex fiance there too.
Oh, good thing. Hopefully still a good thing, maybe.
It's not a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. It's kind of like a nothing.
It was good at the time. Yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, I gotta tell you, dating another runner is like our first date was a run. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, like we didn't actually have to get dressed and then we went out for coffee afterwards. I'm like, cheapest date ever. This is
Yeah,
great.
that's awesome. And you got fit.
Yeah. And well, you know, the thing is like you can replicate that first date all the time after, you know, we would go 2, 3 days after work, you know, just run around the block.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to relive that. And it's like, you know, had I not gone to the running store, that wouldn't have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. All those connections are what make us so special, right?
Yeah, and actually, she is what brought me to Chicago. She ran Chicago Marathon with her best friend
Oh,
in
okay.
2019.
Uh-huh.
So I was, and her best friend's husband's father just died. So it was just me up
Oh,
there. So I was covering the entire Chicago like marathon for two people who started in two different waves.
oh my gosh, that's crazy.
I saw her 4 times and her friend 7 times because it was her first marathon. I'm like, you know what? I got to be there for her. She needs
Yeah,
someone. But
that's
you know, I
impressive. You
was
got a lot of miles in.
flying.
Yeah.
I was hopping trains, running from one place to the next.
Yeah.
Saw the drag queens. You know,
That's awesome. Good. I'm glad
no,
you got like the full experience for sure.
well, not just that. I'm like, you know what? I got to run this on my own one day.
Yeah, absolutely.
How
Yeah,
much
it's
like?
pretty special.
How much like? Obviously, you don't sponsor the Chicago Marathon, but how much does your store like send people to be part of that? What's your role in kind of like we'll call it, for lack of a better term, like an adjunct role towards
Yeah.
getting people from your store or you know into the Chicago Marathon, like that kind of.
Yeah, so we have, like I said, we do have a training group, which is always a lot of fun. So that brings, Naperville, Wheaton, Plainfield area kind of all together to run. But in terms of the Chicago Marathon, our situation is a little unique because we partner with several different brands at the marathon. So we work at the expo with these brands. We represent them. We kind of have a full setup where kind of everything is all set up together. So for example, we work with Garmin, Features, UFOS, Hoka.
Man, I
And
love my UFOs.
yeah, aren't they
I've got them
awesome?
on right now.
Yeah, they are the best. I wore mine into work. So we partner with several different brands and we have our employees work those booths with the employees of that brand. So we personally, NRC, we do have about 15 of our employees that go and work the expo weekend.
How many employees run the marathon? Like, are you have people there who run it like every year?
Well, it's interesting because not a blanket yes. Every year, maybe one or two of us will run. It's challenging though, because it's a very, very long week of work for all of us. So nobody's really too excited to work 50 or 60 hours in 5 days and then go run the marathon. So my husband is one of the only ones that has had a better experience than most. He worked 60 hours in 5 days and then ran a 2:22 marathon on Sunday. So we always joke that he has like the unofficial world record.
That's fast. That's pretty
Yeah.
speedy.
He would kill me that I just said that, but we always joke that he's got the unofficial record for that.
Did you meet him through the store? Or did he come in and work for the store later?
No, we actually met in college. So he ran for North Central College. I ran for Elmhurst College, and we kind of met through mutual friends.
Were those two colleges close by?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm from Naperville, so North Central College is in Naperville. So I had a
Oh,
lot of.
you really are a townie. You just never left.
I went a whole.
How long did you live with your parents for?
No,
Did you live with? You lived in the dorms at least, right?
I did. I moved out in college and never moved back in. So.
All right, you're not a boomerang kid.
No, I actually moved out of town for about 4 years after college, up into kind of the northern, almost in Wisconsin area. So then came back, but I'm back.
Okay. So since you both ran track, you're both kind of speedy then.
Sometimes we have our days.
Do you prefer shorter distances then, since it's a
No.
little more manageable?
No, the longer the better for me. I'm actually maybe thinking about running an ultra this year or next. So we'll see.
Oh, wow. I'm never going to run it. I'm more of a triathlete than I am a runner,
Yeah,
but
that's
like I prefer definitely, mid-range stuff like half marathons,
yes.
half Ironmans, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Hey, half marathons are still long. Don't sell yourself short. So are half Ironmans.
Man, a half marathon feels like a sprint to me. I got one speed for it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good speed though.
I've never had a good Ironman, but I've had good, I mean, a good marathon, but I've had good uh half marathons.
Yeah.
In
Yeah, that's
fact, the funny thing was I was flying the one marathon I did trying to qualify for Boston. I was flying so fast that I PR'd my half during it.
oh my gosh.
I
And
bonked
how did it
22.
finish up?
I bonked
Ew.
the 22. It was at Myrtle Beach and there was a headwind for like 12 miles. It's like it kind of wore me down after a while.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, the marathon's tough. That it's brutal, that's for sure.
I'm gonna run California International Marathon at the end of next year.
That's a good one. Really good.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, I got hit by a car in 2017 in October,
Mhm.
and then 4 months later, I ran a marathon,
Wow.
and it wasn't the smartest decision, and it was not my fastest race, but I was not going to eat that entry fee.
Sure. Yeah.
I
Oh,
mean,
that
even
was your
though it was only $100, I'm like, I'm still running this.
that sounds like some good motivation.
Yeah. So tell me, like, I was reading about your annex store. Did it close?
No, so the annex opened up in 2019. It's only 9 doors down from our main location in downtown Naperville. And the original concept of the annex is that it's all of last season's bestsellers at discounted prices. So think like
I've
Nordstrom
never heard
Rack.
of anything like that.
Yeah, it's because we're the kind of the first ones to do it. So we have, at the time we were buying closeouts from our brands, from our, our kind of our big footwear brands, and we would have full size runs, different colors, all sorts of things, but previous seasons, so we could sell them at discounted prices. Um, the other intention with the annex was to be able to use it as like a pop-up space. So everything is movable. The fixtures are movable, the shoe wall, everything is on wheels essentially. So right now, and it kind of worked out well because through these 2.5 years of COVID, there really aren't any closeouts to buy. That isn't closeouts are very tough to get. So we've really embraced the pop-up concept. So right now, it's temporarily shut down because On Running is doing their build out for their pop-up shop. So we just had Birkenstock in there from March through this past Saturday. And then On will be in there through September. And then we have a couple other brands lined up for the rest of the year. So it's temporarily closed right this moment because they're doing a build out. But
Very interesting. I mean, you definitely are the first to do it. I just never heard of such a kind of concept.
yeah, and you know what? It was successful when we had our discounted items in there, and we would have sometimes we were able to get kind of a different pieces of apparel on closeout, and it's a great concept, and we still have that concept. But like I said, it's been tough to be able to stock an entire store with full size runs, full color selections, with all of the inventory and supply chain disruptions. So the inventory that we do have for the annex is here at our main location, and then it'll be that full on pop-up shop in just a few days.
Oh. Are you going to open up more than one pop-up shop? I mean, depending on the success of this.
Probably not right this moment. It's tough. I mean, summertime is our busiest time of year, and having great staff to be able to work at all those shops, we don't want to stretch ourselves too thin.
Speaking of your staff, so is it like I remember my local store? There's a few full-time workers, which is just basically their management, and then the regular associates are kind of like they're either people who run for the Atlanta Track Club or like just a lot of retirees who like to
Mhm.
run.
Yeah, we have a really kind of diverse group. Everybody, our only requirement really to apply here is that, well, one, you have to be a good human, and two, you have to enjoy
It's
running.
retail. You can't be a shitty person.
Yeah, you'd be surprised though. You never know. But you kind of have to run in some way, shape, or form. So all of our employees can consider themselves runners, whether that's they run once a week, they do CrossFit, or they're Ironman, or they run in college. We've got all ages, all abilities.
Okay. Now, I don't know if I just kind of blanked on this, but how many people do you usually use that are part-time?
Right now, our staff, we have 12 full-time employees and the rest are part-time. So there's about 18 or so that are part-time.
What's the employee discount like?
It's a good one.
Then it's definitely worth it, especially if you run a lot of miles.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, in my store, I remember when I was with my ex, I was always buying stuff for her. It's like, well, she's gonna be here anyway, and because we're both on file, it's like, hey, tell me what size she wears, and then this, because I couldn't always remember it all.
Yep. Yep.
So,
I am guilty of that in another way because my husband and I both work here. When holidays come up, like my birthday is in a few days, or if it's Mother's Day, or if it's Christmas or whatever it may be, I'll just set things aside by his desk and then they magically disappear. And then, oh, happy birthday. I got exactly what I wanted. So it works out well.
oh man, that is
Uh-huh.
that. What is the word that I am looking for that? That's like it's like a subliminal hint, but it's not.
No, there's nothing subliminal about it. I am
What's
spoiled
there's
and
a
I know what I
specific
want.
word I'm thinking of that's called.
Spoiled.
Okay, that too. Yeah. So, what is the future of the Naperville Running Company?
That's a good question, but we want to continue to employ the best staff and we want to take care of our staff. That's always kind of our number one priority in terms of our leadership team, is to take care of our staff and take care of our community. So we obviously want to keep thriving in that sense. Um, you know, having people, like I was saying before, having people come in our doors because they want to shop with us and they want to tell us about what they did in their shoes and update us on their life and their families. That's who we are, and that's what we want to continue doing.
It sounds like it. I mean, the annex is definitely something I admire. How did that? I'm still hung up on that. How did that concept still like arise? Whose idea was that?
Yeah, so the owner of our store, Chris Hartner, he had kind of had this idea for a while. And as a leadership team, we kind of talked about what can we do to further reach more people in our community. Because a lot of people might not think they need a $170 pair of shoes, or they don't understand why running shoes are better than other shoes they might be working out in. So we wanted to, again, be able to be accessible to more people in the community. So this is the way to do that. There's nothing wrong with previous season's shoes, right? They work just as well, and they still last. The longevity is still there. So being able to reach that community that maybe they're intimidated by Naperville Running Company, or they don't think they need to get a pair of running shoes, but if they can entertain the idea that maybe they can get it at a discount, and they're still getting the same great service that we provide, it's all of our same staff that work there. We can kind of educate them on the importance of properly fitted shoes. But like I said, maybe cater towards that customer that might not think they need that $170 pair of, brand new shoes that just came in yesterday.
No, it's definitely interesting. Well, hey, Marissa, I'm glad you joined me today. It was definitely been interesting. I learned some new things and some new store concepts that are definitely maybe somebody else will see it and take on the same idea.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That we would love to see that. And thank you so much again for the opportunity.
All right, you enjoy the rest of your week.
Thanks, Eric. You too.